Hi, this is Miss Park, and this is a quick introduction into our next unit. So let's have a look at this slide with a number of things happening. Take a moment and see if you can figure out what do these things have in common. So you will notice a Ferris wheel turning at the top left. You'll notice a heartbeat, a clock with the hand going around. You'll notice the seasons changing on a tree. You'll notice the tide coming in and out, so water coming in and out onto the shore and back out. And you'll notice a person playing with a toy that is it's got things swinging back and forth. So what do these things have in common? So hopefully you're noticing that in each of these pictures, there's something repeating. There's a repeating motion or repeating action. And these things are repeating over time. So you'll notice with the Ferris wheel, what's repeating is the position of any chair is going to be returned to the same position after a full revolution of the wheel. So what is repeating is a full revolution of the wheel going around once is repeating. It goes around again and again. The heartbeat is repeating in a healthy person. You will have a fairly regular heartbeat, so it should repeat. The trees are changing with the seasons. So winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, and there's a repetition. The clock's going around, takes 12 hours to go around the clock, or 1 hour if you're going in minutes, or 1 minute if you're going in seconds. The tide coming in and out, the water coming in and out it's out and then it's back in. So we call that low tide and high tide. Low tide is when the water level is low. It comes in, so the water level becomes high, and then back to low again, and then back to high and back to low. And the person staring back and forth at the toy, those balls are being kicked left and right, left and right, left and right, and they're swinging back and forth. So there are some words to do with this unit, which has to do with things repeating over time. And the first word is cycle. So a cycle is the thing that is being repeated. So in the case of the Ferris wheel, a cycle is one full turn around the wheel. All right. In the case of the tree, a cycle is going from winter to spring to fall back to winter again. So the full change back to the beginning. With the high tide, low tide, a cycle would be starting at low tide, going to high tide, going back to low tide. So at the end of the cycle, you always end up where you were at the beginning of the cycle. In the case of the clock, you can say, let's begin at 12 o'clock and then go around until you're 12 o'clock again. So it's one full revolution of the hand of the clock all the way around the circle. And this fellow watching the toy, so a cycle would be the ball on the left being at the highest point on the left and then back down, the ball on the right being at the highest point, and then back to the ball on the left being at the highest point. So with each one of these, you return to the same position at the end of the cycle. The next important word is period. So the period is the length of the cycle. So how much time does it take to complete one cycle? So in the case of the Ferris wheel, maybe it takes 5 minutes to go around once. Okay, in the case of the heartbeat, it would probably be some fraction of a second to complete this diagram on a EKG, on a heart scan. The case of the trees, how long does it take for the tree to get back to where it was? So winter, spring, summer, fall, how long does it take to get back to winter? So that would be 1 year. So the period is a year. In the case of the clock, the period could be an hour, a minute, or 12 hours, depending on what we're measuring, hours, minutes, or seconds. Okay, the tide going in and out could be any length of time, and we're about to see some word problems that have to do with tides going in and out. And finally, this fellow watching the toy, not sure, could be could be a few seconds. How long does it take for the one ball to be at a particular position and then return to that exact same position? So that's the word period. Another important word is periodic motion. So anything that moves in such a way that there's a repetition and then it returns to the start is said to have periodic motion. And that leads us to the title of this unit, periodic functions. So a periodic function is a function that has this characteristic, that it repeats. So if you were to graph it, if you were to graph the function, you would have a repetition of outputs. So your inputs would change over time, but your outputs would then repeat over time. And so you could make predictions because you have that repetition. Okay, so that is the introduction to our new unit. Thanks for watching.